Solomon. Thank you to all of our nominees. We will now turn to questions from the committee. Senators will have 5 minutes to ask questions of these nominees, and I will begin. First question is for Judge Lynn. Now, if confirmed, you would be the only one of a few candidates nominated to a federal judgeship who is open about living with a disability. I'd love it if you could spend a moment talking to the committee about your hearing disability, how it's affected you professionally, and in particular, how it has shaped you in your role as a judge.
Thank you for the question, Senator Padilla. I lost most of my hearing when I had a childhood illness as a toddler. I'm almost completely deaf in my right ear. I am hearing impaired in my left ear. I have worn hearing aids in both ears since I was 5 years old. Today, thankfully, through the miracle of modern technology, my hearing is rarely an issue for me, particularly in a quiet environment like a courtroom. But for most of my childhood and into my young adulthood, it was an obstacle for me. And looking back, I can also see how formative it was. I learned to listen closely. I have to listen to every word of necessity. And as a child, I also had to recognize that no matter how hard I studied or how good I was at school, it was always possible that I literally missed something because I didn't hear it. And I think both of those mental habits, listening closely and recognizing the possibility that I might be missing critical information, those mental habits have served me well throughout my professional career as a civil litigator, as a federal prosecutor, and most of all now, as a Superior Court judge. And I hope that they will serve me well on the federal bench as well, if I am so fortunate as to be confirmed. My hearing was an obstacle for me, but looking back now, I am grateful for the journey it took me on and the lessons it taught me.
Thank you. Next question for Judge Simmons. And I kind of teased this in my introduction of you. Before your nomination to the San Diego County Superior Court, you served as a prosecutor where you thought you'd be able to do the most good. So can you share a little bit more about your background in public service and how serving as an advocate in the courtroom has prepared you to serve on the federal bench?
Thank you very much for the question, Senator Padilla. As you stated, I started as a deputy city attorney for 1 year, as a local city prosecutor, and then I worked for the San Diego District Attorney's Office for the 12 years. For 8.5 of those years, I was a gang prosecutor, meaning I prosecuted individuals who were accused to be gang members who committed violent crimes. That was an experience that I enjoyed because I felt like I was able to help communities similar to the one I grew up in, that were plagued by a small set of individuals that were committing a large portion of crimes. I learned to work with individuals from the community. I routinely met with those who were victims of crimes in their own communities, in their own homes. It made sure I expressed to them that they were entitled to justice like everyone else was. So that was an important experience for me, making sure that I did justice properly with the highest ethics and making sure that I protected communities similar to the communities I grew up in. That prepared me for a role in the San Diego Superior Court bench because I was able to get along with all sides. I developed a great reputation as a deputy DA. I have continued that reputation as a Superior Court judge. I've been a judge for 5 years, but I am now the supervising judge for the North County branch of the San Diego Court. I am the most junior supervising judge for the entire county, and I did that because of the respect and my work ethic that I have shown.
Thank you very much. And final question for Judge Lynn. Again, you bring a tremendous amount of both private experience and public experience to the job. How has your time serving as judge in your current capacity formed your approach to service, particularly as you hope to move to the federal bench?
Thank you, Senator Padilla. I am currently a San Francisco Superior Court judge. I have been a judge for 4 years now. In my first 2 years, I handled a busy felony criminal calendar, 200 to 250 matters a week. I am now in a criminal trials assignment where I've handled a whole range of trials from murders to rape to child sex abuse. But in each case, in the end, my approach is the same. I diligently listen to the arguments of the parties and review the submissions. I review the factual record and the applicable law. I listen with an open mind to the evidence presented to me, and I render a ruling that is fair and impartial based on the law and the facts. It is a priority for me in my courtroom to set a tone for everyone in my courtroom to feel welcome and invited to address the court and to feel seen, heard, and respected at every stage of the process. Those are all skills that I hope to take with me to the federal bench if I am confirmed.
Thank you very much. We both welcome back. And I now turn to Senator Grassley for questions.